We are live.
Yay! Yay,
Yes.
technology!
Yay. Guys, we were here a good 15 minutes trying to make sure that the technology is on point. That's how much we care about y'all. We're like, we have to get it together.
And then
So
cross
I
our fingers.
hope, yes, I'm trying. I hope y'all can see us. I don't know if anyone is in as yet. Um, I think we're streaming, right?
It says live.
Hmm. Okay, we're a little bit early. We have 2 minutes. So guys, Teresa was just telling me about her beautiful name, her last name, Vera. I didn't want to mess it up. That
You
it
got it.
means, yeah. So it's Teresa Vera, and it means truth sayer.
It's
Tell us about it.
it's actually the root of the word is truth. So it's like veritas,
Mhm.
right? So it's truth. And ironically, of course, I can't tell a lie. I can only tell the truth, and I always want to find the truth. So
There you go.
no coincidence.
No coincidence. And guys, she's gonna give us some truth today.
All the
Definitely.
tea.
She's definitely going to give us some truth today. Let me see who is on the line with us. I see Faye.
Hey, Faye.
Hi. Hi, Faye. How are you doing? Let me let you join us for a minute.
There. Hey, Faye.
Hi,
Hello.
Faye.
Good to
How
see
are
you.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're just chit-chatting because we know we're like a minute early.
Yeah.
Just giving people
Yep.
time to come in. I'm sorry, I should have asked you before I pulled you up on the screen.
We're in
I
the
just
same
wanted,
space.
huh?
Oh, you're
We have the,
Oh
exactly
my
at the
goodness,
same space.
we're at the same place. Look at
Great,
that.
great minds. Yep.
Great minds think alike. This is my second time using Restream. So please, people, please be forgiven.
Yeah.
I don't know if the last time when we used it, I was able to see comment in the chat. So if anyone is there and can put something in the chat to let me know that this is working. And Faye, I'm going to, you want to stay on screen? I'm going to take you off screen for a little bit. Um, there we go. But
I
you know,
don't see.
I'm learning through this entrepreneurship journey that you have to be okay with being messy as you grow. It's not going to be
Absolutely.
perfect all the time. And I have learned, okay, perfect, to not necessarily chase perfection, but to show up anyway. So
Yeah.
we're about to get started. All right. So, hi, Teresa. How are you doing today?
Good. It's so fun to be here, Camille.
Yes. So, guys, Teresa and I, we met a few weeks ago and we instantly kick it off. Instantly kick it off. We are both passionate about people, change, culture, and we had the realest conversation. And I was like, "Hey, Teresa, let's do a live together. Let's talk about assessment, how assessment beats assumption." So, guys, we're going to start with a little bit of data. So, the Gallup poll showed that only 21% of employees globally are engaged at work. And that's just like, mind blowing. And what that insight show us is that the problem that we're dealing with is not a capability problem. It's a culture problem. And culture is the thing that can make or break transformation. Trust me, it's very important. When we look at those ROIs that leaders care about, if we're not paying attention to the culture, project might stall, adoption might fail, and psychological safety erodes, at such a massive level before leaders can get a hold of it. And that brings us into our discussion today and our no BS culture check on why assessment beat assumption. And I'm going to start off with my first question. And like I said, I'm here with my amazing friend, Teresa. And Teresa, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get going.
Sure.
Introduce yourself to our friends.
Yeah. So I am Teresa Vera, and I just absolutely live, eat, and breathe people type concepts, capabilities, culture, change management, communications. I work for a company called Groundswell. We all do the same thing and absolutely love being able to get into that people side of change and transformation and make a difference and help leaders really see how they can align, the more financial statistics or deal values that they have with change and culture.
Awesome. And Teresa, that leads me to our first question, and that is, why do unchecked assumptions about culture lead to stalled projects and fail adoption?
Yeah, because most leaders, when they're looking to get statistics on their culture, they're looking at the wrong type of data, and then they're
Mhm.
not actually getting the right data that they have to measure. So, for example, most companies have engagement surveys. They have ENPS. These things do not measure emotion, and emotion is what predicts behavior, and behavior is what you need to manage during a transformation or an integration. Otherwise, you put things at risk. So if you're just looking at your regular engagement survey, and I'm not saying that engagement surveys aren't good, they're great. They measure satisfaction, right?
Mhm. Yes.
ENPS, you're actually getting to more popularity. And what you really need to get to are what are the emotions people are feeling that put your transformation or your integration at risk. And that
Mm.
comes through cultural intelligence. And it isn't the same. So when leaders are making the assumption, I know my people, I know where they're at, I've got great engagement scores. No, they're not looking at the behavior that's going to put them at risk.
Wow, thank you. That's beautifully said. Teresa, before you move on, I think we're having some technical difficulties because I see that we have two individuals, Faye and Tom, with us, but I'm not seeing them on it's like the system is only prompting me to pull them up. And guys, you don't have to say anything or anything at all. Like I said, I'm still trying to get to figure out restream. Were you guys able, maybe put it in the chat, were you guys able to hear us, hear Teresa and I?
Here we go. Faye put it in the chat. Yes. Tom is
Oh,
typing. Yay. It's working.
that's great. It's working because I'm like, I can't see them. Tom is talking. He said, I'm able to hear. And hi, Teresa. It's been a while.
It has been
Okay.
a while. It's been a hot minute.
So I don't have to pull you to the screen then for you guys to hear us. That's correct? Okay, perfect.
Correct.
I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't know what was going. Yes, Teresa.
And it,
What you just said, you said it absolutely beautiful. And what I want to ask you is, how can leaders dig a bit deeper beyond those engagement surveys?
they can run culture surveys, but I'm going to just throw this out. This is one of the things that you and I have talked about, but
Mm-hmm.
leaders, I would say, the best thing a leader could probably do is actually be able to listen to anything, whether it's their team, an individual, their peers, listen without being defensive and
Mm-hmm.
actually really take things in, really hear what their people are saying, and then take action. Because if they're
Mm-hmm.
not taking action based on what they're hearing, then they're
Mm,
losing that sort of credibility in which the people actually will trust them because you know what?
mm.
If you're not actually doing anything about what I've said, then I'm not really thinking that I can trust you as a leader. So it's really important. And that's why getting that cultural intelligence and then taking action because you have the right information and the right data to do so actually shows that you are accountable as a leader.
Mm.
And that builds trust in the organization. And that is the one thing that is so hard to do is build that trust and keep that sort of alignment in leadership and accountability.
I love it. Trust is not a nice to have. It takes trust for us to really move those needles. And when leaders talk a lot about those KPIs and different performance indicators that they're looking at, I feel like trust is one of those things that leaders really need to dive into and really build up their own skills as to how they can develop trust. So, Teresa, yesterday we talked a lot about the comfort zone that leaders are
Mm,
in and how, going back to the engagement surveys,
mhm,
how we have both seen where when it comes to like corporate communication and those surveys are change managers and those surveys are going out, it seemed like those surveys are being written and this is what has been thought and some of those principles that a lot of organizations go by, like don't use any negative tone, steer it into ensuring that the people that are responding in the way that would benefit us.
mhm.
It's almost like they're hiding from the reality of what's going on. And I've also seen, which is interesting, I've seen surveys gone out to over 500 people and only 15 respond. And they're like, guys, we have great response rates. 90% of people say that we are doing great. No, like it's not just about sending out the surveys and the response. Something that we need to really look at is how many people are responding to that survey. Guys, when it comes to lack of participation, silent, that is an indicator that something is broken.
Oh,
That is an
yeah.
indicator that there's a lack of trust.
Mhm.
And I want to think, let's talk a little bit about that comfort zone, Teresa.
Right.
Give
So,
give me your insight on that.
yeah, I'm just gonna tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to stay in comfort zones, isn't it? As a leader in an organization, sometimes if you can stay in that comfort zone and you can run those same surveys that get to the same information, it's more like giving yourself a pat on the back sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can move away from just looking good as an organization into doing good, and that means really measure what matters in an environment that's anonymous and safe so people feel like they can answer, and getting to the heart of the data because like
Mm-hmm.
it truly is the emotions that matter. And in
Mm-hmm.
order to do that, leaders have to be ready to hear the truth, and it might not be those wonderful engagement scores that you've had for years. It might not be those great ENPSs that you get that show that everyone is doing so great and it's so popular. It might be actually the hard truth, and that there's a
Yes.
lack of trust in the organization, and that your people are in a state of fear, which means their next behavior might be exiting the company,
Mm-hmm.
which costs company a fortune with attrition to be able to replace leaders, especially leaders who are heavily involved in these
Yes.
large transformations or integrations because of M&A.
Let me ask you a question. How about we encourage leaders to have to put on a lens of that curiosity and truly care about looking at this data and how they can make a difference? Do you think that it's about mindset? Like if the mindset is there to really, grow the culture and really just, make it ones that inclusive and all those great things, it is is this okay to really understand and have real data that you can react to. And it's kind of a disservice. It's not kind of, it is a disservice even to you and your the those employees. Like, can you talk about that a little bit about, because I still can hear in my mind like that fear of, okay, but what if I get that data and the raw truth and it's going to make me look bad? How do I
Hmm.
step out and
Yeah.
really push for the truth of what's going on in the organization?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, it really has to come from the top of the house. And I say this because, like your leadership in a company always sets the tone for culture. And it is
Yes.
that group of those leaders who make that decision about what that culture is going to be and how they're going to manage it and how they're going to grow it and how they're going to transform it. Those are the leaders that have to make the decision to
Mm,
invest in some of these
mhm.
modern cultural intelligence tools that are easy to use and tell the truth. Now, if they're interested in doing that, I'd say then they're interested in hearing the truth. So I can't imagine anyone who says, you know what, I really do want to get to the bottom of what's going on in my culture and make this like the best place for people to be, for people to feel safe, people to feel like it is a people first company. We're not just saying it's people first. It truly is because we care about how you feel. And we are
Mm,
going to put action plans in place against what we
mm.
find out. And we're going to continue to keep this pulse on on the cultural intelligence of what's going on in our organization so that we can continue every single day to make it better. It has to start
Yes.
somewhere, and that is the decision to invest.
Hmm. That's perfect. I love that we are moving into our second point. That takes us into our
Yes.
second point, which is, why should organizations invest in culture assessments?
Well, and just to pair on to what I was just saying, if you're using one of these more modern cultural intelligence tools, it actually gives you real-time insight to be able to
Mm,
navigate and manage in real time. So it can
mm.
identify segments of your population that are feeling fear, which
Mhm.
then you have to go after because that means a potential exit. You can find segments of your population that are feeling pride, and you know what, those are your advocates. Those are the people that you want to tap to be part of your change network and
Yes.
help with the transformation. You can find people who are expressing interest and
Mm,
that they want to be engaged, so they want to get
mhm.
more involved in the transformation itself. These are things that you can do in real time, and usually if you keep up, like once a quarter doing these cultural intelligence pulses, which some of the tools out there are so simple. There's only 3 questions, you know
Wow.
two you pick 2 different emotions, and then
Mm,
you put some comments in about your emotions, and it is layered with human behavioral statistics
wow.
actually included, and analytics, and then AI on top of that. And it's like
Wow.
you can walk out with real time action plans based on segments of your population. Like, I don't know, if I were the president and CEO of a large company, you can bet I would be investing.
Right? It's about being the proactive leader. Like,
Yes.
why
Yes.
wait on the chaos?
Yep.
Why wait on the chaos? Why
Hmm.
not get ahead of it and see what's going on and have those real time data to
Hmm.
drive your company in the direction that you want it to go?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to bust a myth around this. So, a lot
yeah.
of leaders believe that assessments um, slow you down because it takes time. And as a consultant, I'll tell you, go in an organization and like, yeah, 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 you're going to assess. How long is that going to take? Where you're producing nothing for us. And so there's this sort of like immediate block. Assessments slow you down. But the truth is, if you invest to do a cultural intelligence assessment,
Mhm.
which is a pulse of like 3 questions, what it can do is actually prevent you from the months of time that you will lose while you're trying to fix the things that you could have proactively taken care of had you known the right information via a cultural intelligence survey.
There
So
you go.
it's like it's kind of like it's more about speeding you up because you have the right information to be able to navigate in real time rather than oh my gosh, we got to do an assessment. It's going to take time and we're going to slow down our transformation or our project or our integration, whatever it happens to be.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that leads into the Change Activate Culture Diagnostic Workshop.
Hmm.
And also, um, Teresa and I, she recently introduced me, are a part of this organization that created this amazing software that enables you to analyze your culture, show those emotions. Like she said, those three questions show the emotions that we're dealing with, and have those mitigations on how to really deal with things and monitor it in real time and give you that 30-day, 90-day plan. And what we do in the culture diagnostic workshop is very hands-on. I come in, I do pre-work like interviews, surveys, and assessment before. And then we have a full day workshop with leaders to really dive into those culture. And if that assessment, if they agree, can is a part of it, then that will be part of their mitigations and solutions moving forward. And like we said, the benefit of investing, and Teresa, you can tell us more about this, the assessment, is it's something you can't put a value on, in my opinion.
Right.
Hmm. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the survey?
Um, the one the one that I was talking about earlier, yeah. So
Yeah.
the NIADEA survey is just um, let's just put it this way, of all the things that I've seen, it is a little bit more on the expensive side, I'll say, compared to coming in and having consultants like myself and Camille do, that sort of a
Mhm.
hands-on culture work. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can run it globally. It translates in its languages. You can run these pulse surveys every 3 months. You can choose whatever pattern you want, but like getting that sort of read and
Mm.
mitigating, if you can do them every 3 months, that means you're actually managing and navigating in real time. Um,
Wow.
it is seriously, I don't get super, super excited about some tools. It's just a
Yeah.
tool. And when I saw this one, I'm like, oh, please. I want this for myself, and I don't even know. Like every client I want to go into is like, you need to do a culture survey.
Yes, she was so excited that she got me a demo. She was like, "Camille, you need to
You
see
got to
this."
see it.
I was really impressed because, like she said, and it's an option. It's not something that we really necessarily see and our clients have to do, because we as consultants, we have the capability also to do the work. Like I was saying, those pre-work, those workshop, those assessments, those interviews. But this just is just one additional tool with AI capabilities that is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And we are going into our third point now, guys. And I feel like this might be my favorite part is what is the statistics saying about engagement and culture today?
Yeah. The one thing that I have to say is more often than not, when I go into a client site, um, things that have to do with people, so culture, communications, change, are sometimes more of a task or an afterthought and not really truly integrated into the infrastructure of the transformation, the integration, whatever it happens to be. So, but that's what
Mm,
produces these statistics, which I don't know if you have that image, but
yes, I'm
one out of
about to.
three,
I'm about
yeah, one out of three
to.
change initiatives, they fail to meet their goals, right?
Mhm.
41% of employees resist change due to organizational mistrust. These are things that we've talked about. And for those of you out there doing M&A deals, 70 to 90% of deals fall short of their projected benefits, with cultural issues often to blame. It's just like
Mm,
that is the cost of confusion, is actually not taking the time to make change and culture work part of your transformation, part of your integration. So we have so many people aspects that are becoming statistics. And like when you
mm,
shared that 21% are actually engaged, that means The rest of them are ready to exit. They're checked out at their desk or wherever, whatever that happens to be. I mean, it's just like productivity costs money. And if you're
Mhm.
trying to get the money out of, like, I have a financial transformation and it's based on, we said we're going to produce this much in cost savings or growth, you're not going to get that with, nearly 80% of your people disengaged.
That's true. I
Yep.
was trying to pull up that image, but it starts slowing down my
Ah,
system.
okay. We have to
Yeah.
play more on this streaming service.
But the thing is, guys, we came prepared. We met
We did.
yesterday. We did a dry run, and then I don't know why technology it does that. But Teresa, you brought up some really great points around those statistics, and I'm hoping that without the visual, that you guys were able to really hone in on those numbers. And like I mentioned in the beginning, when it came to that Gallup poll, when I saw that, I was just like completely like, what? Like this is turning into like an epidemic, depression at work. I'm talking about. And the
Mm.
Gallup poll mentioned that, you know, companies globally are losing $438 billion from employee being disengaged at work. And like I mentioned before, only a staggering 20% or 21% of employees at work are actually engaged, guys. That leave almost 80% of people checked out. And I feel that that amount might be even, I feel like it's even more than that, especially in the United States. How many of us, the thing is, okay, let me back up. We spend most of our time at work, right? 8 hours a day. By the time we get home, we are burned out and all of that. You see, if you're working in an environment which that has a toxic culture, it's going to lead to other problems. It's going to lead to depression and all these other issues. And I believe that is one in every two people, because I truly believe that all of us at one point or the other have felt that deep depression at work. And that's what they call in nowadays, that quiet cracking. A lot of us heard about quiet quitting, which happened right after COVID and, the great resignation. But what's happening is so much political changes are going on that people are not able to just quietly quit or just like, peace out, I'm gone. So they're sticking it out, and they're experiencing depression, and it's affecting productivity. And when we push people so much, people are going to eventually leave, and that's going to cost, especially, Teresa mentioned in the beginning, it's going to cost companies so much more money in the long run. There's also a poll from Learn LMS that talks about the quiet quitting epidemic, or what is going on with that. And I believe it mentions 54% of people today are actually going through quiet cracking. I feel like leaders, that is a call to action for us to realize that there is something that needs to be done about this. And going back to the topic of this live, we have to do those assessment. Not we cannot do our strategy based on just assumption. And safety needs to be a part of that strategy, right? Teresa, are you there?
Can you still hear me? My camera is
Mm-hmm.
messing up. I don't know what happened to my camera.
Oh no.
Sorry, can you hear me? I'll just keep going. I'm like, it looks like
Yes,
it's frozen.
we can hear you. Great.
You were
We can
saying
hear
quiet cracking, and all of a sudden it just cracked, and I look like a ghost on the
you.
screen.
Like, I'm out.
It's
But
terrible.
it's but it leads us, like, we have 1 minute left, so we're about to wrap up. And Teresa, I want you to, just wrap us up. Let's talk about the account, like holding leaders accountable.
Yeah. Well, it's just gets right down to it, right? Let's quit guessing and start assessing. That's the whole theme of this. And for leaders, I can just say, for in my experience, I don't care whether it's been an integration or a transformation. If it's failed, there's emotional data sitting underneath it. It's just that the leaders didn't know that they should look for that information around the emotion that predicts behavior. And quite honestly, you can't manage what you aren't measuring. And so this is kind of like that sort of call out to leaders like, here's something that really will benefit like the value of what you're trying to drive. It's going to put your people first, and it's going to put you in a place of action to drive the productivity that you need.
Mhm.
And so that's just a call. Just quit guessing, get out of your comfort zone, be
Yes.
be accountable, invest in an assessment because it makes a difference.
Yes. So, guys, see that as a call to action for other consultants out there, change consultants, project managers. Make safety a part of your strategy. Um, Let transformation not just be about checking a box, but ensuring that you're moving people along. Many of us say that we are people first, human first, but truly be people first. Truly ensure that we are creating safe space for people to safely express themselves. And then for leaders, I want to encourage you, invest in your culture. And that lead us to our call to action that if you guys ever need any help, both consultants or leaders, if there's any
Ah,
way, there you go,
I came
Teresa is
back.
back. Yes, reach out to Teresa and I, and we will be happy to assist. Like this is something that we are
Mhm.
deeply passionate about. And we just want to, just go out there and spread the message, guys. Let's change the culture and let's start looking deeper at creating those strategies around people, around safety, and create higher adoption. Any last words, my friend?
I'm just well said, Camille. Well said.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those that are streaming with us. Thank you, Faye and Tom. Faye's
And Abby,
typing. She said,
yeah.
well done. Faye, I like that you say true that. That's how I'm Jamaican and that's how we say it. We say true that. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Tom. I'm glad it was great. Look, guys, we apologize for the technical difficulties. It's one of those things. But you guys are troopers. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And I hope that we got our point across. Yes. Look at Faye said, no problem. Great encouragement. Tom said, tech is always a roll of the dice. All good.
It totally is.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my goodness. But guys, thank you, thank you. And Faye and Tom, I need to reach out to you guys. We need to meet. We need to have a coffee chat, something. I love making new friends. So, yes, please stay in touch. I'm going to reach out to you guys after this, okay? And we got to set something up for us to get to know each other. All right, that sounds good. Thank you guys. Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.